Hey, what's happening, everybody? Jesse Brisendine here, and it is Ask Jesse Answer Time. Some fantastic questions this week, so let's jump right into it. Number one comes to us from Jennifer Chesbro, and Jennifer asks, "I'm about to finally undergo my long-awaited spinal fusion surgery in January, on January 26th. This has been a long, exhausting, grueling process, and I will spend the next 3 to 6 months recovering at home with family and friends visiting me in the dead of Maine's cold and brutal winter. I'm hoping for tips and suggestions for continuing to maintain my positive and optimistic mindset as I undergo surgery and a rather agonizing recovery. Also wondering what you would suggest and recommend to avoid any potential bouts with seasonal depression and for coping with a somewhat lengthy period of isolation. I live a pretty active, busy life and have become accustomed to being out and about in my car while my 3 kiddos are in school. I went driving for a minimum of 3 months." Okay, this is a fantastic question, Jennifer, and my suggestion for you, and this answer isn't going to be just for Jennifer. This is going to be for anybody who has any sort of time where they are going to be incapacitated for a bit, or have an operation or something happens, and they're just not going to quite be their normal selves. Most important thing is when we have something that's anticipated like this, we have to focus on the outcome we want. When we go into something anticipating being isolated, being the seasonal depression, being a painful, long recovery, whatever it is, we're setting ourselves up to look for those things, right? This is the example of what you think about is what you bring about. So my suggestion to Jennifer and anybody else who is faced with something like this or who may have something like this coming up, or if you know somebody who does, is really map out what you want your recovery to go like. Gosh, being down and out for 3 to 6 months, while it may not be ideal, that reading list that you've been talking about doing, great time to do that. That business plan you've been talking about writing up, the new book or the book you've always wanted to write. They say that one of the top 5 goals that every human has on their bucket list is to write a great American novel, or a great novel anywhere if you're watching this somewhere else, not to just exclude it for American novel. And the number one reason that people don't is they say they don't have the time. I cannot think of what better time there is than to have 3 to 6 months of downtime where you're not going to be doing the things you normally would do that require the time to sit down and put pen to paper or put fingers to keyboard, or if it's hard to type it out, get some speaking software and speak it out, right? Technology is on our side and it makes these things really possible. You could probably, if you wanted to, write a children's story. I remember reading the story of how J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter one time, and I think she wrote most of the first draft, if not the entire first book, on a train ride. You look at Sylvester Stallone wrote Rocky, the rough draft for the Rocky script, over something like a period of, I think, an all-night 18-hour session and 3 large cups of coffee, right? So great work can be produced in minimal amount of time if there's a focused effort on it. So decide what you want this process to be like. Seasonal depression will come if you think about being depressed, right? If you focus on the pain or what you're missing out on as opposed to why you did it, the relief you're going to get, and what it's going to give you in your life going forward. Okay, so remind yourself of that. I had a friend who went through a rather challenging surgery not that long ago. One of the keys to their success is just optimism, right? Always focusing on what they were gaining and not what they were losing. So those are my big tips, is focus on what you're gaining. Map out a plan of success. What do you want to do this time? How are you going to use this time? Great time to write that book. Great time to read those books. A great time to learn a new language. A great time to look into the hobby you've always wanted to look into starting a blog. Create a blog and keep people updated on it. Any sort of hobby you've been thinking about undertaking. All those things. Decide what you want to do, how you want to use this time. What a great thing to do. Maybe chart your recovery process and share it with people. It might inspire some people to take action and take care of themselves. Okay, so decide on how you want it to go before it goes. So that way you're not just becoming this leaf in the wind, hoping that the wind blows you in a direction that leaves you feeling happy and empowered. Take control now, set yourself up for success, and I bet you find that the time goes quickly and it's a very successful recovery. So wish you well with that. Keep us posted. Question number 2 comes to us from Melissa Flores, and Melissa asks, "Jesse, what's the best way to grieve the loss of people you've loved? They say you find your own way, but I haven't found a way quite yet. I lost my baby, my dad, all within 2 months of each other, and a dear friend yesterday. I can't take much more loss, although the logical side of my brain knows it's inevitable. Please help." I would be lying to you, Melissa, if I said there is a right or wrong way to grieve. I don't think there is a right or wrong way. I think what's most important, first and foremost, is that we do allow ourselves to grieve. We allow ourselves to feel what we're feeling. We allow the emotions to be processed and worked through. If we try to hide from them and deny them, I believe it causes more pain long term down the road. So really, really important that we work through the process of it and you allow yourself to feel it. The next thing is the thing that I think is the most important is you have to decide on a path that you want to take, a course of action for your life moving forward. And again, not to borrow an expression I already used, but I'm going to. The last answer I said was talking about the leaf in the wind. A lot of people do that with loss. They feel so lost that they allow themselves to become lost themselves, and they become this proverbial leaf in the wind where you're kind of waiting and seeing where the wind blows you. What life has in store next, and you're just going to go with whatever. That can be really challenging because you'll never have your roots firmly anchored to anything. And in doing so, how are you ever going to move forward if we don't have anything to ground ourselves to? Really, really crucial to find those grounding elements in your life so that when you go through those emotional extremes, it kind of seesaws back and forth, that you have something to always come back to and center yourself to. So if you don't have that yet, it's crucial that you find that and establish that. Lastly, I feel I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't invite you to, I don't know if your timing you could say is fortuitous that you asked this question, and so I feel I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't invite you to participate in my newest course that I'll be offering that actually starts on Tuesday the 19th, so tomorrow, which is called, ironically enough, Healing from Loss, and it's going to be a course basically all about loss, death, relationships, all sorts of things. And my intention with the course is to help those who attend it take them through a powerful process that allows them to gain insight, perspective, understanding, closure, and empowers them with some tools and some strategies to move forward and really, really, really move past the pain and go on and live a life in a way that honors the person they lost. So I would love for you to be a part of it. You can go to my website and find it there. It's jessebrisendine.com, and I think it's /healing from loss or something. Or you can just, on the 1000 challenge page, there's a bunch of links going around with it too. Or you just send me an email and I can get it to you. All right. So awesome questions this week. Thank you so much for asking some really powerful, big life ones today. So I appreciate you guys putting yourselves out there and asking those questions. And you don't have to be set up for spinal surgery or to have a major loss to apply what I shared today. I encourage you to start applying these things to your life right away, so that way, if anything challenging does happen, you have your roots established, you have a plan in place, you know what you want to accomplish, and you're progressing forward towards those things now instead of waiting for yourself to be in a position where you're forced to. I think that's great and all, and it helps put the proverbial fire to you, and I find that you'll be a lot more successful if you start and set your attention for that now. So awesome questions this week, everybody. Thank you again for asking them. And I hope you found value in this. As always, I love reading your comments, so leave one below. We'll be back here same time, same place next week. And until then, have an awesome week this week. Take care, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.